It's a special edition episode of Cards on the Table here from the National show floor. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. Reaction to this year's National, plans for next year's National, an escalating war between Fanatics Collect and eBay, and also some very special marketing being done by Topps right now. What does it all mean for the sports card hobby? We'll let you know next. Sports card investors, and welcome to a special Cards on the Table. Guys, we're here at the National. We're inside the Arena Club booth. They've got a great setup here at the National, and I am nursing my tea because it's right at the end of the National that we're filming this. My voice is a little strained, but I've almost made it through.
You owe me money. I made bets that you would lose it by Thursday, and you're still going strong.
Hey, we're going strong. We're going strong. And guys, we need to go strong because there's a lot we're jumping into in today's episode, so I want to get started right away. So, of course, the big topic, we're here at the National. It's been a very special week in many ways. In some other ways, it was a little bit of a disaster. And I want to have some honest conversation. What went well? What didn't go well? And as we look towards next year's National, what are we expecting? Teapot, let me start with you on this topic today.
It's like a tale of two experiences, inside the convention center and then outside. And starting outside, that was a disaster. I will say it has gotten progressively better over the last couple of days. They must have made some changes to help traffic flow, but that was the big story. We knew it was going to be tough. Everybody's distributed all over, unlike when we're in Rosemont and you can cross the street and go to your hotel. It was like waiting an hour the first day, 90 minutes, just to get our bus out of here, and then another 30 to get back to our hotel. That's a lot of wasted time. It's not what people come to the National for. So that was not so great. The convention center itself, it feels a lot smaller than when we do it in Chicago and Rosemont. It's not a bad convention center. The bathroom situation was a little bit dicey. I love that they have seating in a lot of places this year, which is really nice, so people could sit down and eat lunch. Overall, I was out on the show floor a little bit. I did my Market Movers video, not a ton of time out there. I didn't find a lot of what I was looking for. It was kind of overarching, like high-end, vintage, and then the sea of ultra-modern parallels. And when I did find something, a lot of dealers were like 3x comps. So I picked up a couple of cards. That was a little bit of a disappointment for me, but overall, it's actually been a really good show. The Market Movers booth has been extremely popular. We launched some new app updates that I hope everybody will check out. It's really, really awesome what we're doing on the mobile app. So overall, it's the National, and I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, these are all very, very valid points. Carter, what Teapot's saying right here, is this resonating with you? What are your thoughts about how the last few days have gone?
The National's been unbelievable. Let's just start off with that. The crowd has been crazy. But the traffic's been a massive issue. I mean, I know my team, the dealers, we were allowed in at 8:30 every morning. We got here at 7:30 every day because after the first day we were late. We had a line at our booth before we could even get there and get set up. So it was miserable getting up early to beat the traffic and trying to, the line outside the doors. I mean, geez, thank goodness it didn't rain outside. I mean, the lines were wrapping around the whole convention center. But I think this is really encouraging for next year. I think that we need to talk about trade nights as well, right? The lines for trade nights, way too long. There was not enough space to accommodate it as well. There were some issues last year in Chicago as well, amongst the hotels as well as the venue, right? Trade nights is such a big portion of this event for so many people. I'm looking forward to the National hopefully improving this going forward, in Chicago in the coming years.
I thought they did make some nice improvements this year to the trade night, especially for what they were working with. It was down in the basement in a lower level. They put up decor. I thought they got the line in quickly. They were doing some fun things. Doc Gooden was here. They were giving away packs. It felt engaging. It had a different vibe than prior trade nights, but it seemed like they were trying to do some interesting things. They had zones dedicated to baseball and basketball and football, so I think there's room to go. I think they know that. How they accommodate the demand for trade night afterward, when we have 100,000 people coming through here, I don't really know.
Yeah, to me, traffic has been awesome. Like, the most important part about the National is that collectors, many of them come and they have a great experience, and many of them came this year. The great experience, I think, for the most part. Some headaches, some annoyances, as you guys described, but there was a very positive energy and great vibe inside the building. A lot of people excited to be here when they finally made it through the lines and through the traffic and all that stuff and got inside. So I would say for the most part, this has been a big success. At the same time, I would also say that the National has now way outkicked its coverage. The National is beyond what the infrastructure they have here can possibly handle. Yeah. And look, Cleveland, all respect to Cleveland, I love the city. The National has outgrown Cleveland. The National cannot come back to Cleveland. It cannot. Yeah. This convention center, this setup of the city where every single hotel is miles away. Everybody has to drive in. There's no walking across the street to get here. This show overwhelmed this convention center and this city's infrastructure. Yeah. It couldn't handle it. Yeah. The show is too big. The show has taken on a life of its own and it has advanced beyond. Yeah. Everyone here is excited about going back to Chicago the next 3 years. Chicago will be better. They have the hotels right around the convention center. The Sky Bridge is in. Less traffic issues. More hotels, more opportunities.
The restaurants are ready.
Lots of restaurants right now around the convention center. Bigger space at the convention center, which they desperately need. This was way too small. Way too many dealers left out.
33% smaller this year.
Way too many dealers left out. Dealers not able to come. Not enough cards on the show floor because not enough dealers could come.
I think that's why I had a hard time finding what I wanted.
But all of this said, so Chicago will be better. Here's my concern. To me, I think the National has been playing from behind the last few years. I think the National is going to continue to play from behind. I am worried that it's going to outgrow Chicago. I am worried that while we all say, oh, great, back to Chicago, I'm worried 2-3 years from now that Chicago's setup can't handle this. I don't know what else can. There's bigger centers. Yeah. I think Anaheim's bigger. I think Orlando's bigger. I think Atlanta might be bigger. Yeah. I think New York City's bigger. Yeah. Las Vegas is definitely bigger. I've been to their centers before. They're much bigger than Chicago. Vegas can handle this. I don't know that Chicago can handle this in 2 or 3 years. You got to be forward thinking. Look at the trend line. Look at the chart of what this thing is doing right now. Yeah. We're breaking attendance records in Cleveland. We're breaking attendance records. The momentum right now in this hobby is incredibly insane, and it's not going to slow down. Topps and Fanatics are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing into this thing, and they've only just started. They don't even have football or basketball yet. What's this going to be like 2 years from now? I wouldn't be surprised if the crowd trying to come to this 2 years from now is double. Double.
It's realistic.
Chicago can't handle double.
It's very realistic.
Chicago can't handle double.
Yeah.
So Chicago for the next 3 years is not some savior for this show. We may be complaining about this same thing 2 years from now. If the crowds are double, we will be. I feel like the National is running behind. And it's hard for them. They've got to book these venues multiple years out. I think they booked this venue like 5 years ago. They could have never predicted this. Yeah. I get it. It's challenging for them. Yeah. And they're trying to do their best. Yeah. They've got new management this year. They've made improvements. They're trying hard. The trade night situation was better, even though it wasn't big enough. They're trying, they're doing things to try to make it better. But the problem is, this thing is such a force and they're locked into these contracts 5 years out. Yeah. This is crazy. Yeah. Like this whole thing's crazy. It's wild. It is wild. I am looking forward to next year. I love the National. There's nothing like the National. No. Like I'm saying these things not to be critical.
Right.
I'm saying these things to say, this is the greatest show in the world right now.
It's important.
I want it to continue to be the greatest show in the world. I want every collector that come here to have the most incredible experience. And this year, you can't say that they all did because of all this other stuff. And Chicago will be better, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Could this thing double in 2 years?
Yes.
And if it does, are we back in the same boat again in 2 years?
Yeah, I think it could.
It's wild. It's wild times right now for the hobby. But the passion of collectors, it felt even, I honestly, I didn't think going into this, I was wrong about this. I didn't think that Cleveland was going to draw as many people as Chicago. Because I was like, harder to get at Cleveland.
Yep.
You know, not as big of a city
Yeah.
in general.
Not as many direct flights.
Not as many direct flights, not as many hotels. You know, I didn't think Cleveland was going to be the draw. I was wrong. It was every bit the draw, if not more the draw than Chicago last year.
This proved that the Nationals go anywhere and they're going to draw the crowd, period.
Yeah.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Imagine when it gets back to
Yeah.
Chicago next year.
Exactly.
It will break the all-time attendance record again.
Yeah.
And then it might do it the year after that. It's a great sign for the hobby. I mean, look, these are problems, but these are also good problems to have.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the National is so popular that it can't even keep up.
Yeah.
It's way better than the alternative.
Yeah.
Go talk to dealers on the show floor, because there's a whole bunch of them that lived through the 90s and lived through the 2000s. They remember those Nationals. They'll tell you stories. Couldn't give stuff away. That's not the problem this year. This year, they you know.
We gave a lot of stuff away.
Well, we gave stuff away. Over at Sports Card Investor in the Market Movers booth, we gave stuff away. Look, this is the greatest event there is. And I want the National to really think ahead. Think ahead.
Yeah.
And when they're figuring out where this is going to go 4, 5, 6 years from now, think about what happens if this doubles or triples.
Yeah.
It really could. I hope it does.
Yeah.
I hope it does.
Yeah.
All right. Anything more you guys want to say on this?
No, I'm amped up.
Are we amped up?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for the 2025 National?
Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to get to
It's going to be the
Chicago.
biggest one ever, no doubt.
It's going to be great.
Yep.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's been an absolute awesome week. And hopefully a lot of you guys watching this made it to this year's National. But if you didn't, make sure to make it to next year's National. It's absolutely spectacular. Also spectacular is something really fun I got to do at the show this year with Arena Club. I got to pick up a card for their new Ruby Grail packs that are dropping tomorrow. Check this out. Roth Cards, what's up, man?
Hello, Jeff, how are you?
You been having a good show?
Yes, sir. Great show. A lot of sales, a lot of buys. NT's hot, football's hot going into the season. So.
Well, that's perfect, because Arena Club just sent me over here to pick out a Grail card to put in their new Ruby Slab Pack drop that's dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So I need high-end football. High-end football. Is this the case for that?
This is the case. We got Tua, Josh Allen, Herbert, T-Law, Purdy.
Yeah, you got nice stuff.
We do got a nice Josh Allen NT down there.
I like Josh Allen.
Okay.
That's a nice Kyler Murray gold.
Kyler,
Wow.
He's
gold.
on the come up.
He's on the come up, and that's a gold Kaboom rookie.
Gold Kaboom rookie, yeah.
Man, look at that Justin Herbert. I like that one too.
Are you looking for NT flawless?
Yeah, probably.
Like that?
NT is always such a staple when it comes to football. Do you have any true, like out of, like, or maybe an out of 20?
Out of 25 hollow.
Yeah, let me see that. Let me see that. I think this is the card, Roth. I think this is it. This is it. This is the one that I want to put into the Ruby pack as the Grail Chaser. This is an incredible card. This will be in the Ruby packs for Arena Club. I'm going to send Arena Club over here to negotiate with you.
Right.
I'm going to tell them to get this card and put these in the Ruby packs. They're going to drop tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Arena Club, and use promo code SCI. We're going to hook you up with a great promo to get that first Ruby pack. You're going to want to be part of this. Appreciate it, man.
Easy deal. Let's get it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it. Guys, here's the card. Look at that. Can you believe Arena Club is putting this in one of their Ruby packs tomorrow?
That's a big boy.
It's a big boy card. And guys, here's what you need to do. Promo code SCI, first of all. It's going to get you 10% off your first purchase at Arena Club. What you want to do is actually download the Arena Club app. That's the best way to get into this. And at 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, these Ruby Grail packs will drop, along with other great packs that they have on there. Get into football Ruby Grail packs. Use promo code SCI for 10% off, and you could pull that card. That is incredibly awesome. All right, guys, let's jump into our next topic today. Wow, big news that broke here during the National.
Yeah.
Burbank Sports Cards is one of the biggest sellers of trading cards on eBay.
Yeah.
One of the biggest. They've been on it for years. They got like 40 million cards or something crazy listed on eBay, some incredible number of cards. They've got a massive operation. eBay's been a massive source of Burbank cards revenue forever. And during this show, they dropped the news that they're moving off of eBay. And they're moving off of Beckett Marketplace, where they also are. And they're going exclusively over to Fanatics Collect. Wow. Shot across the bow from Fanatics to eBay. This is big time news. What do you make of this, Teapot?
I mean, this is huge. So we saw the transition from PWCC to Fanatics Collect, the new app's out, the new website, and we started talking about, okay, how are they going to keep growing this? Because they're not content to just sit on sort of the legacy model of a lot of higher end cards. You know, you got the weekly auction, you got the monthly premier or lead auction, and then you've got fixed price items. They put out their pricing and their fee structures, and at the top for lower dollar cards specifically was a very low fee structure with like an interesting footnote about needing to be like within comp, within certain range of fair price. What they don't want is they don't want a bunch of people sending them their cards and then listing these $40 cards for $180, $220, $500 and leaving stale legacy listings cluttering up their interface and their database.
And by the way,
They don't
eBay
want that.
suffers from that.
eBay suffers from that.
Terribly.
Rob's team does a fantastic job keeping prices up to date. I don't know how they do it on these millions of cards, but I have bought many, many cards from them over the years on eBay. I think between eBay and Beckett, they've sold something like 15 million cards or something like that. So this is an absolutely huge deal. I'm wondering how eBay will respond. That's the big question, because this is going to be dominoes. Burbank will not be the first one. Fanatics was really smart, said we got to get a big person over here. The key is we need inventory. We need listings to encourage people to search so they find what they're looking for. This is huge.
Yeah, man, this is huge. I mean, you're right. This is huge news. Like, what do you make of this, Carter?
If you didn't realize the Fanatics era is beginning, it's beginning right now. Right now. They've been talking about what they're doing. We've seen glimpses. We've seen glimpses of the football products and basketball products coming out fairly soon, right? You know, this is beyond cards. This is beyond making cards, right? This is them charging the market even further into the marketplace, in this secondary market. I mean, this is absolutely huge and industry changing. We're going to see other dealers, I'm sure, follow in years to come, right? They are taking this platform to a whole new level than what PWCC was. It's extremely exciting. It's extremely kind of like, what's the future like? You know, I mean, we keep talking about what is Fanatics going to do. They're showing their cards today with the partnership with Burbank. It is going to be insane, everything that they bring to the table in the coming years.
eBay should be concerned about this.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna, I'll be honest, like I buy a lot of cards on eBay. I'm a supporter of eBay. eBay's been a big sponsor of our show in the past. I like a lot of people at eBay. eBay has not progressed enough, in my opinion. eBay has brought some advances to the table, but we've been dealing with things like shill bidding for years.
Yeah.
Now, finally, we're getting, prepayment, sellers can turn that on.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about that teapot since 2020.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the need for that since 2020. We finally are getting that in 2024. They don't show all the prices of what the cards have sold for. You look up sold prices on eBay and you're still greeted with all these lines slashed through and all this kind of stuff. And you have to use a product like Market Movers to figure out what things actually sold for on eBay. They're behind the times, and they've got the new partnership with PSA, which is also an interesting twist to this, because now the real people going at it in some ways are going to be collectors with the eBay partnership and Fanatics. But in other ways, collectors and PSA are also tied in to Fanatics, because now they just launched their grading program for Fanatics Collect. Like, so interesting watching all the chips fall and the things move. And what it all means to me is all of these companies are seeing the value in this hobby, and they're seeing the growth, and they're realizing, much like how I was preaching to the National earlier, that this thing could very well double, triple, quadruple.
10x.
10x. These companies are seeing that, and they're going, we're placing big bets now, because when the market of all of this is 2, 3, 5 times larger in a few years from now, that's when it's going to really pay off for them. And that's why they're doing the big bets today that they're doing.
Yep. It's been about 5 years of competing technology, competing brands. Now there's this consolidation happening. There's mergers, there's partnerships, there's companies, folding under. There's a lot happening, and I think over the next 2 to 3 years, that's going to be the story. This is not going to be the last time we talk about this on this show. Some big news, some big shakeup, some shift in loyalty that's been there for a long time, but it does feel like the big dogs at the top are the ones kind of going at it and calling the shots, and we'll see who's next.
It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch how this progresses. Fun to be part of it, man. I mean, this type of stuff, like it's dramatic and it's fun, but it's fun to be part of an industry that's like got this much heat behind it right now, that it's evolving and just, you know, pushing forward at all times.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff. One reason why this industry is evolving the way that it is the additional marketing that's taking place. And this leads us to our next topic here today, the commercial. Topps just ran a national commercial during the Olympics. It was a really great commercial. Nothing has been done like that before. No, there has never been a national commercial for sports cards that was a general brand awareness commercial. There's been some product specific things, but nothing just generally to get the heartstrings tugged, to get more people into collecting, and especially nothing during a national event as big as the Olympics. Carter, what's your reaction to the commercial and just all of this that's taking place here?
The day Fanatics bought the licenses and the day they bought Topps, Michael Rubin said, we're gonna market, we're gonna do marketing, we're gonna do something that the industry has not done ever, much of at all in our history, right? And these commercials have continued to become better and better, more effort, more money behind it, you know, bigger times with the Olympics. This is extremely exciting. It was such a great commercial, you know, father and son. It was a great, you know, representation of our industry, right? You know, of so many, just like, you know, you with your kids, your two sons, right? And it's so exciting. I think more marketing like this is to come, you know. I think it's not out of the question. Super Bowl commercials coming up soon. I'm telling you. It's going to happen here.
Wow,
it's
wouldn't
gonna
that
happen.
be something?
I know.
Wouldn't that be something? You ready for that, T-Bot? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, Lions, Chiefs. I'll be on the field. We'll air it. It'll be awesome. I'm really excited about it. No, the commercial's fantastic. It tugs at the heartstrings. It's essentially, it's the essence of the hobby. You've got father and son, you know, parent and child, this whole dynamic. That's literally what keeps it going. That's what got you back into it. And now I've got my kids, you know, kind of looking at 100%. This with me. It's completely changed my career trajectory in that regard, and it's exciting. It's really exciting, and that's what we've seen here every time. The Card Kids Trade Zone was insane again this year at our booth. You know, had to keep corralling them in, and I was so impressed though by so many of the parents who sat there all day with their kids to make sure they could just have this great time. You know, some of them just wide-eyed seeing like $1,000 cards come out of these cases, but that's what we're seeing. That's how the hobby keeps going and keeps growing, is with the children, and I think it's a really good sign of the future, and the commercial was really well done.
I agree. Yeah, it's I love it. I love everything about it. I love the storyline of the commercial. I love the fact they're running a commercial. Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
Super Bowl ad. I like that. All right, I'm in for that, Carter. I'm in for that, Topps. Get ready for your Super Bowl ad.
We're calling you guys out. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, seriously, for sure. Oh man, this was great, guys. This was great. And thank you, Arena Club, for hosting us. They've been a great sponsor of Cards on the Table. And guys, those slab packs, they're dropping tomorrow. Go download the Arena Club app right now. Use promo code SCI for 10% off, and get ready to maybe get that Josh Allen card out of one of their Ruby football packs tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We appreciate you guys watching Cards on the Table. We'll see you soon in their next episode. Take care.